차렷! 경례! Hi, welcome to Taekwondo REALTOR White Belt class number 4. Today we're going to go over buyer leads. Great job! So if you're watching this video, hopefully by this time you have 40 advocates in your folder. If you're not there, you need to get there. There's no way you're going to survive this business if you don't have people to call. These advocates are people who are going to build your business. I don't care if you go into church directory and put people's name on there that you barely know. Get to know these people. By this time, you need to at least have 2 advocates that are lender partners that are helping you with your business. Say, hey, I'm brand new. I want to really work hard. I want to be top 1% realtor in this market. I need your support. And these loan partners or lender partners should help you, get more leads for you. If they don't help you at early stages, get another loan officer. Work with another lender that's going to support your business. So you need to put at least 40 people by this point. If not, I may even stop the video right now and get on prospecting, because if you're not there yet, you're not prospecting. You're not calling people. You're not calling your brother, sister, family members. Hey, I need to build up my business. Who do you know? Give me some names, phone numbers. You have to get to that point. So you're working and you finally got somebody. Oh my gosh, they're going to buy a house. They are living in an apartment. They have their lease is coming up in 3 months. And so what do I do? I got somebody. This is exciting. First of all, congratulations. This is your first buyer. Hopefully your buyer is a great buyer. Hopefully it's somebody you could trust. Hopefully it's not a buyer that's going to look at 200 homes and write 20 offers, and they're such a bottom feeders and they're so unreasonable, you're out of business. A lot of times this is a very, very, very critical moment in your real estate career. I don't know how many realtors I have trained over 20 years or talked to over the 20 years. They have failed this portion and it just gone out of business. A lot of these guys, one prime example I could think of is a gentleman who used to be a realtor. His first buyer lead was his own niece, and just worked with his own niece and talked and showed him a lot of houses. But the niece went to an open house and fell in love with the house and wrote the offer without the uncle realtor. And this is real sad story, but real true story. He never survived in real estate after this crushing defeat on his very first buyer lead. So I think the first critical thing here is what kind of skin? Have a thick skin! Thick! Thick! Thick skin. Have a thick skin. It's a tough business, and we're in sales. Anytime you're selling something, there's going to be disappointments, especially as a salesperson. So whether your first lead was your own niece or your own mom or whomever, and somehow you forgot to get your buyer agency agreement, you forgot to upfront tell them how this whole process works, then they go to a for sale by owner and buy directly from them, go to open doors, and the story. You work so hard, you put in 200 hours and you end up with nothing. So that first story, he quit real estate after the crushing first defeat and never seen his niece or talked to the niece for the last 10 years, which is a sad story. Even if that happened, you should say, that's okay. If you found a nice house, good for you. I understand. I should have followed up. Again, follow up. If you don't follow up, there are 10 other realtor that wants to steal your client. I'm sorry, realtors are nice in general. I mean, they don't purposely try to steal somebody, steal your client. I will never steal any other realtor's client. And I've never done that before. I will never do it in the future. But the competition is fierce. So first thing, again, is have a thick skin. Second, get them pre-qualified. Pre-qualified. You got your first buyer lead. They're coming from California. They're a cash buyer. Great. Verify. Okay. I know this is a touchy subject, but say, hey, when we go find that perfect home for you, the seller would want to see how you're going to buy with cash. I mean, if it's literally cash, real cash to the closing table, not a good idea, right? You want to show them, you're a legitimate buyer. You want to show them, it's called proof of funds. POF is an acronym we use in our industry. But you want to say, I want to show them, we could white out some sensitive names and stuff if they're really sensitive about that. But most people are usually okay to give you the bank statement if they have it in the bank. If they have a line of credit, they get a line of credit letter from their lending institutions, or if they're, retirement fund, you have those paperwork. Say you need those to be able to, if they find that first house. So anyway, pre-qualified, your buyer may not be able to buy. Why are you showing thousands of homes and spending thousands of hours when you could be working with a qualified buyer? So number 2, get them pre-qualified. Okay, when you get your buyer lead. Number 3, guess what number 3 is? Number 3 is critical for your realtor success, especially if you want to escape your white belt. Kind of sucks, right? Your white belt, you look around. There's a red belt. There's a black belt. They're doing 10 deals a year. They're doing 20 deals plus a year. Some guys in our office are doing 160 deals a year. So you're embarrassed and you're just a white belt. But how do you get out of white belt? You gotta have the thick skin. You gotta get pre-qualified. Get them pre-qualified. And number 3, how do you think you're gonna get more clients? What was a key word? Class number 3, prospect. Wait a minute, John, wait a minute. I have a buyer lead. I'm going to show him hundreds of thousands of homes and I'm going to write offers. I'm going to make my first commission. You're saying prospect. Why am I saying prospect? Our business is, we have to be prospecting machines. If not, how are you going to win your fierce competition? I know you have a buyer lead. I know you got your definition page signed. You got your exclusive right to buy contract all figured out, signed. You're showing houses, great. And you deviate from your schedule. You forget, how did I get here? How did I get my first buyer lead? It's all through prospecting. You are prospecting. Whether, I don't care if you've been in business for 40, 50 years. I just talked to 4 incredible realtors this afternoon. They've been in the business since 1971, 1 year before I was born. One guy was at 1973. The other gentleman, or one of the top producing ladies, my mentor as well. She's been doing it since 1979. But I don't care if some of those guys were really successful during their prime years. They were doing 30, 40, 50 deals. But, they tell me, they don't have to work as hard. They have a lot of investments. They have a lot of different passive income sources now. But if they stop prospecting, I could guarantee you 6 months later, they're not going to have a lot of business. They will sure have some business, but prospecting, again, I'm sorry, is the key. So buyer lead, congratulations. Let's call me. Let's get together one-on-one, and then let's talk about where you're gonna bring that buyer lead. Bring that up during our sales meeting every Wednesday, or during your board meeting, realtor board meetings, and say, hey, I have this buyer. I'm looking for this much money, this kind of neighborhood, this, and talk about your buyers so that maybe other listing brokers could maybe help you promote their listing, and maybe you could find the right house for them. So that is class number 4. Congratulations, you got the buyer lead. And so this class, my Robinhood hint is from a guy who has done a lot of deals last year, and he told me this Robinhood hint of the day. So where he gets his leads is from attorneys. Okay, so there are many different ways to do prospecting. One is the most basic and the free one for you is your cell phone. Get on your cell phone, make calls. But this guy has done about 50 closings last year, and I don't think he had one buyer. We're doing a class on first buyer lead, and John, what do you mean he had no buyer and he had like 50 closings? Well, he strictly works with attorneys, that they are estate attorneys. So he's over the years established a reputation. Again, going back to last class's Robinhood tip, he has business card would say his estate specialist or estate realtor specialist. And a lot of the attorneys that work in that arena, they just hand it over to him. He's built a reputation to do that really well. So that is my Robinhood tip that I got for this class. So, John, I don't know any attorneys. Well, start talking to some attorneys. What's your hobby? I mean, again, we talked about tennis as being one of my hobbies. Of course, Taekwondo is another one. Whatever circle you're in, maybe that will generate some business for you. So that could be a prospecting way to do that. So anyway, you got this far, and I appreciate it. And we're looking forward for you to transition from 0 to 3 deals a year to black belt, doing 2 deals a month or 24 deals plus a year. And hopefully you'll stick with it. I know Taekwondo training is hard. And I am going to tell you, if you're not doing 2 hours a day prospecting, even Monday through Saturday, it's a tough industry. I don't see you surviving unless you have a huge amount of money and your advertising budget is $10,000 a month and you're creating all these leads. Good for you, but most people aren't like that. Or maybe your husband is a real estate investor and he buys 10 houses a month. You got to shoe into this business. Or if you're an investor, of course, we promote investors. A lot of our realtors are investors. So if you're an investor, of course, I mean, you could do many little deals, and still be fine. Or if you own a business already and you already have 100,000 income coming in for you, great, good for you. But most people, that's not the case. And this is your full-time, one shot to really make it. A lot of people quit this business and sometimes they come back and try it again. But once you quit, you lose that momentum, and it's so hard to come back in this industry, because you build your reputation year by year, step by step, like white belt, yellow belt, all the way red belt to black belt. I mean, you build that up, and a lot of times it's so easy to go back to white belt because you're not focused, you lost your energy, you're tired, or you just lost contact with a lot of the referral sources you've generated. So stay with it. And stay with it. Congratulations on your first buyer lead. Work on your form. So in Taekwondo, we're kind of extending this class, but in Taekwondo, what do you do when you're white belt? Pumse 1. Okay? What's Pumse? It's your form. So Taekwondo Realtor training, what's your form for white belt? You need to know definition page. You need to know about exclusive right to buy, contract. You need to learn about, exclusive right to sell if you're in that kind of agreement with your seller. So these forms are basic forms in our industry. More forms and practice with, the better you're gonna get. Okay, so for those of you that who don't have a buyer lead so far, I feel sad for you. I feel sorry for you. You've been at it for 2 months and you're still just calling. Maybe you're not calling correctly. So we haven't gone over about this too much, but maybe I'll take this time as a extended class. So when you're calling on the phone, typically it doesn't even have to be about real estate, but when you first get in, that's for the experienced agents who've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. A lot of their referral sources, when they call or contact them through Facebook Messenger, get a lunch appointment, a lot of times they don't even have to say, I'm looking for real estate deals, I'm desperate. People on the other side of that phone already hear, John's calling. He needs more business. He needs more, he needs more home sellers. He needs more home buyers. But for you, you're brand new in this business. I would suggest this method, which is another Robinhood tip of the day. I'm using another one. I was gonna save it for my next class, but I'm using it already. So Robinhood tip number 2 is order of conversation. Okay, this applies not just telephone calls. This applies one-on-one, face-to-face meetings. But you want to get the business portion out quickly and fast. Okay, so one script. Here's a free script for all my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for that like button. But here's a really good Robinhood tip. Yes, next video I'll try to buy one of those Robinhood ad to make this video a little bit more interesting. Okay, kidding aside, it's an important tip because this is from a guy who used to be a top producer in our real estate office for many years. I mean, top. And order of conversation. Important key. So if you're here this far, good for you. This is a great tip. You need this. Robinhood tip number 2 for this class. When you talk, start with business first, personal second. Seems very simple. Business first, personal second. Hi, Mrs. Smith. Oh yeah, she was in my advocates folder. Hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry, she was in my leads folder. Yeah, I talked to you 2 months ago. Your lease is coming due in about 2 months, and this is great because I have a new promo. This is maybe practice your scripts. Obviously, this one I haven't practiced, but hey, Mrs. Robinson or Mrs. Smith, sorry. We have a promo going. If you're one of our buyers, first 5 buyers in the company, we're offering free appraisal. We will pay you have to pay up front, but at closing we'll reimburse you or give you credit for appraisal for free. Great timing on your part. Let's utilize this. Let's go and find the house that works best for you and your family, for your daughter. You're looking for that condo. What a great time. So if you get on the contract in the next 30 days, you'll qualify for this promo, and it's gonna work out great for you. So let's schedule a meeting. Again, Robinhood hint from previous class, make appointments, of course. Hey, let's get together, come into my office, we'll go over all that together, and let's look at some homes online, and let's narrow down our search, and let's go look at these houses, because if we get it under contract in the next 30 days, I don't know, you can make it up. I mean, these are all made up for you. Scripts are always all made up. So talk about business first, and then second, you end the call. Oh yeah, remember your daughter? She was 13. She was gonna be 13 this month. Is that? I remember that, right? And she's like, "Wow, John, you're amazing." I'm not amazing. I have everything in my binders. I have all the call conversation written down on my notebooks. Of course, I remember because I'm calling her. She doesn't know I'm calling her. That's great about phone calls that, I mean, of course, I mean, if you're doing FaceTime, that's a different story. But regular phone calls, she can't look at you. So you could just, tell her all this thing because you're reading the notes. Anyway, so oh yeah, happy birthday to your daughter. Congratulations. Oh yeah, last time I talked to her, she was really, really sick. She went to the hospital and she had the flu or whatever. And you end the phone call and she's coming to the meeting, and this phone call, she's thinking, wow, what a good guy this Taekwondo realtor is. He's really courteous. One of his 5 basic core values that you want to always have he'll have those 5 core values. But oh, John's courteous. He really cares about me and my daughter. I really like him. I'm gonna refer him more business. Blah 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 blah. Same conversation. You reverse it. So you call because who likes calling? I hate calling. That's one of my least favorite thing in real estate business is prospecting. I'm sure it could be you. I'm kind of shy normally. I had to come out of the shell to make a living, but I'm sure this might be you who are shy, passive. Me, shy, passive most of the time. But let's say you're scared, so you call, hey, I talked to you 2 months ago. Your daughter was so sick, had the flu, and oh my gosh, I think her birthday was just 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. Again, energy. There's no energy in this too, so that's another hint. But anyway, so you end the conversation with, you start the conversation with that, and then you end it with, oh, we got a promo going. If you buy within the next 30, 60 days, you're gonna get a free appraisal, free warranty. Always make stuff up before your call and practice a lot. You could role play with your trainee partners, which I recommend doing. Having another, same new agent, let's say, hey, let's just kind of motivate each other. We don't have money to pay for coaching. Let's save all the money we can because we're not making any money. Don't just throw money down the toilet. There's so much free stuff on YouTube. You could be spending 2-3 hours a day on YouTube, which I recommend during your afternoon, evening hours. Spend a lot of times on YouTube and get free classes, free info, free tips. But anyway, so you end the call like that, and she's thinking, oh my God. I mean, come on. He doesn't care about me. He just wants his business. Wait a minute. Same content, different order. So as a brand new realtor, I think when you're making these calls, you want to keep that order as much as possible. Yes, it's hard to just call and say, hey, we got a promo going. Of course, you call, hi, how are you? You start with that, but go right into the point. Why did you call? Business-wise, get that out of the way, and then end it with just pleasant conversation. Oh yeah, last time I talked to you, your mother was very, very sick. She was hospitalized. How is she doing? You end it with that kind of call. Don't try to reverse the call. So that was my tip for Robinhood. So I wish I would have said that tip for my next class, but I used it. So you're here, you're still training. White belt sucks. Black belt is cool. Black belt means maybe $300,000 in commission in your market. White belt means I'm barely surviving. So I'll end the class there. Thank you for paying attention. 차렷, 경례.